Guys, as I mentioned, it is a championship Sunday at the ANA Inspiration. Two young stars are tied at the top. Nelly Korda salvaged a 1-under par round of 71 on Saturday to maintain a share of the lead, while Brooke Henderson fired a 65 and included 6 birdies and an eagle, 1 bogey. The duo is 2 shots clear of the field right now through 54 holes. The closest chasers are a pack of 3 players at 10 under par that include Catherine Kirk, Lexi Thompson, and Miriam Lee. Carlota Saganda is alone in 6th place at 9 under par, while 4 players are part of a pack at 8 under par, including Stacey Lewis and the 2020 U.S. Amateur Champion, Rose Zhang. Meanwhile, when you look at the players who are at the top of the leaderboard, it is Brooke Henderson, it is Nelly Korda, and when you consider what they've already done in the game, Brooke Henderson more accomplished. She is a major champion. Jaime, if I asked you of these 2 players, which one you might be slightly more confident or maybe more confident in just by a margin, who would it be?
Very small margin, but I'm going to give it to Nelly Korda simply because I think she has the most game, the most all-around game, the most power, the most well-rounded game. She's trending. She's ready. She's played well recently. Obviously, she's only 22, but her track record is already very solid. She's closed 3 out of 4 54-hole leads. She can handle it. She was T3 in a major already at the KPMG. She knows what it's about. I think she averted a crisis yesterday, and she's got to be proud and encouraged about that with those 3 birdies on the back after what looked like a disaster. For a young player, she could have easily collapsed. She didn't. She's tough. She knows what it's about. Her dad was a great competitor in tennis. Her whole family is. I think she can do it today, and I just think we're going to see a coming out party.
I'm going with Jaime on this one with Nelly Korda. You know, back in the day, Walter Hagen used to say he was the guy that hit shots all over the place, but he hit these remarkable recovery shots. If he had a double bogey, say, he would say, man, I'm glad that happened because he got to pass him. He was like the game's first sports psychologist, even though he was the beneficiary of it. I love what Nelly Korda did. We did see signs of the pressure from the major championship yesterday. If you look at what she did with putting in the first 2 rounds, 27, 26, now she had 32 putts in yesterday's round. It started to get a little bit tighter, but I think it's so powerful for a player of her stature to overcome that. So I reached out to a player of stature that overcame a lot and consistently succeeded, a Hall of Fame member, in fact, Amy Alcott, who you remember started the jumping and popping spot in 1988. And I asked her about how you handle it when you have to right the ship. And this is what she said to me. She said, quoting, "Don't let your lows be too low or your highs be too high. Just like life, it takes wisdom and a complementary spirit to weather and also enjoy the storm." I think that Nelly Korda, there she is jumping in the Poppy's Pond when it really was a pond there.
Yeah.
I think that Nelly has weathered the storm. I think now she's ready to go out and let it flow. What do you think?
I think that you guys are taking maybe the brightest young star. Now, Brooke Henderson is not old by any stretch. She's 6 of 7 with 54-hole leads in her career, and you guys are going to buck that trend. I will take Brooke. Look, this is somebody who has shown at as young an age as Nelly Korda is that she can handle it, handle all the pressure that comes, all of the expectation that the weight of a nation can put on you from the great nation of Canada. And we hear you up there because they are proud and they are passionate. And what has she done? She's answered the call at every single opportunity. Again, 6 of 7 with 54-hole leads. And that round yesterday thrust her in a position, maybe she hadn't been there in a short while, but once she's there, she has shown as much comfort in this game over the last couple of years as anybody.
A very exciting young player. I want to ask you this, Garrett, and I want to ask Jaime the same thing. Could we ask for any better a leaderboard heading into this championship Sunday at the ANA?
Yeah, Jaime, when you look at it, and you look at someone like Brooke Henderson, if she does in fact win this, and add another major championship to her resume. You know, we were expecting this to be an Olympic year. Matt just alluded to that leaderboard. I mean, with few exceptions. I mean, could you say, well, where's Inbee Park? And yeah, there are always going to be a couple names. But if Brooke Henderson does, in fact, Jaime, close this out, she is, again, notching off rungs on a ladder that very few climb to.
Well, you forget how young she is. Obviously, all these players are young, but such a resume at age 23. And we're talking about Nelly Korda as this young phenom, but Brooke Henderson's only a year older, and she's done a lot more, as you say, in terms of her record. And if she could close this out, especially coming from behind with a big weekend, I think she raises her stature another level and got to be talked about as one of the top three in the game. And that's high company right now in the game. I mean, the number one player in the world is not here this week, Jin Young Ko. And there's just so many great South Koreans. And for Brooke to, surpass some of those players because the ANA is so important, I think, this would be something where we look at her completely differently going forward.
I thought it was an interesting matchup yesterday, particularly when we had Lexi there with Nelly. But today, these two have competed against each other, with each other, since they were teenagers. So it should be a pretty comfortable grouping for the final day. Obviously, Kirk is in that threesome as well, but it should be pretty comfortable out there. So I'm expecting to see some fireworks and a lot of birdies.